You know, when you give someone a gift, you want them to enjoy it immediately. No complicated setup, batteries required, assembly, things that make people frustrated. There's so many reasons to love Aura digital frames. But honestly, what might be my favorite are these three words: no assembly required. You start by downloading the Aura app for free, which takes no time to get the frame ready. And then you can preset the Wi-Fi in the frame and upload pictures beforehand. So all the grandparents have to do is unbox it and plug it in. Super simple. It's such a great gift, even for the most tech unsavvy people in your life. Save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using promo code ZABE at checkout. That's Aura Frames, A-U-R-A frames.com, promo code Charlie, Zulu, Alpha, Bravo, Echo. This deal is exclusive to my listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply. They say to fully enjoy life, you should collect experiences, not things. Physical things you buy become outdated. They lose their appeal. But an experience lasts forever and grows over the years. That's why I want you to know about the Mervis Diamonds South Africa Safari coming this March 2025. Enjoy a 5-star luxury adventure with native South African and longtime fixture on the DC diamond scene, Ronnie Mervis himself, leading the group. I've been on the trip twice, and it is spectacular. You'll fly to Cape Town, see the legendary Table Mountain, visit wine country and the spectacular coast. Then it's off to the Kapama Game Reserve to see the Big Five in their natural habitat: lion, elephant, Cape buffalo, leopard, and rhino. Finally, a tour of the Cullinan Diamond Mine in Johannesburg to see where the sparkly magic comes from. All told, 11 luxury days on the ground, all-inclusive, for just $6,300 a person. This is it, people. The banger safari trip of a lifetime. I've been twice with Ronnie. You will not be disappointed. I guarantee it. Book now. Space is limited, and it's filling up quick. For more information, go to mervisdiamond.com/safari or call travel consultant John Almeida at 888-722-4872 and tell him I sent you. Remember, life is short. Collect memories, not things. As the leaves turn and the air gets crisp, it is time for some serious action. Bet on Lord football, from heart-pounding college rivalries to the bone-crushing NFL matchups. But that's not all. The ice is getting cold and the courts are heating up. Get in on the NHL face-off and NBA tip-offs as both leagues kick off their seasons. And if you want to get really nuts, bet on the election. Won't that be fun? If you've been waiting for the right time to get in, the time is now. Make your winning move today. Sign up at mybookie.ag. Use promo code ZABE, Charlie, Zulu, Alpha, Bravo, Echo, to be eligible for all promotions. Once again, promo code ZABE to get in on the sweet action. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. This is the CzabeCast, from the mean streets of McLean, Virginia, to the Harvard of the West, UC Santa Barbara. You got 30 minutes for some honest conversation about sports, life, and more? Well, good. Buckle up and let's go. Here we go. Tuesday, December 17, 2024. Thank you for downloading. Just you and I today after a crazy NFL Sunday Week 15, which is not over yet. Tonight's 2 Monday Night Football games were too late for today's edition of the CzabeCast. Tune in tomorrow for me to break down the nuttiness that may have ensued. A lot went down on Sunday in the NFL. I've got my idiots of the week, Travis Hunter's girlfriend drama, an answer on why his father wasn't there. The NFL is robbing their own players, the curious case of Tim Boyle, and these drones are driving me crazy. Plus the quarterback wasteland that was the NFL on Sunday. Let's start with the idiots of the week. I know what you're going to say. It's got to be Dan Campbell, right? Certainly it's Dan Campbell, right? No, it's actually Jonathan Taylor. and I make Jonathan Taylor the number one idiot of the week, despite him being, a good guy, smart football player, at least we thought, not prone to the kind of showboating that would lead to this, but once again, in the year 2024 of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, football players at the professional level are committing the most idiotic, reckless, game-losing move ever. Dropping the football at the 1-yard line before scoring a touchdown. It boggles the mind that this still happens. There have been so many examples. Players should have been made examples of and scorned over the years to the point where, there was a craze back in the early 2010s in which these showboating NFL players would drop the ball at the goal line and say, look how cool I am. I just left the ball right there. That's a fumble through the end zone touchback, you dipshit. You would think that it would have just been a phase, right? And that coaches would have stamped it out, that one of the coaches would have gone absolutely crazy on their player after that happened, and that nobody would do it anymore. But it keeps happening. It happened twice on Sunday. Not just Jonathan Taylor, but also a Bengals DB who did it while changing hands at the goal line. He wanted to get the ball in his other hand, had it in his left hand, transferred to his right as he was going in the end zone. What are you doing? What are you doing? As Shanny would scream, what are you doing? Oh, my God. It boggles the mind. Like, switch it in the end zone or switch it in the field of play so maybe you got a chance to recover, or it goes out of bounds and you still get possession. But at the goal line, that's when you're changing hands?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
And in the case of Jonathan Taylor, it's inconceivable. Inconceivable. I don't think you know what that word means. It is, to me, inconceivable. For sure. Still, that this is happening. We should have stamped this out a long time ago.
Inconceivable. You keep using the word.
You keep using that word.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yes. These football players, not all of them, are very smart. I know that's really breaking news, right? A lot of them aren't even that football smart, but they can do things on the football field that is required to play high-level professional tackle football. And so they keep jobs. But yes, this happened twice on Sunday. Jonathan Taylor's the most egregious of them. Colts leading 13-7 over the Broncos. The touchdown would have put them up 20-7, maybe 21-7 if they went for two. Bo Nix was held in check all day long, 130 yards passing total. And Jonathan Taylor completely fucked him with a dumb, selfish, reckless, hey, look how cool I am. Dropped it at the goal line. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. What again? Moron. And the Colts had a chance, big matchup against Denver, with whom they're competing for a wild card, a chance for the Colts to get a real leg up. According to the numbers nerds, their chances to make the playoffs were at 7, where if they won the game against Denver, would be 53% going into Week 16. If they lost the game, it'd be 7%. Well, lo and behold, it's now 7%. The season is likely done. Anthony Richardson is still not it. Like, you got to be a moron to think, no, he's going to turn into a real-life NFL passer. A scud missile launching, rugged tank of a QB who's good for one big chunk play a game and bowling people over en route to the end zone. That does not make a 16 or a 17 out of 17 week starter in the NFL. But they'll have to figure that out on their own schedule. So, Jonathan Taylor, my number one idiot of the week for that, because it boggles the mind that it's still happening. I went back, I thought, the one thing I've always said is I don't know why coaches don't go nuclear on these players and literally bench them in public full view. You are an idiot. You're costing our team. Sit down. We'd rather lose without you than win with idiocy like that. I have to draw a line in the sand. There was a coach who did that. Remember old Mike Singletary? I want winners. Can't do it. Can't coach them. Can't win with them. That was on Vernon Davis, who got a 15-yard penalty for slapping a defensive player well after the whistle on a play. I had thought that had come a ways into Mike Singletary's tenure. No. It was his very first game. 10 minutes left in his head coaching debut. In a 34-13 loss to the Seahawks, Davis got the penalty, and Singletary called his actions, quote, uncoachable. Said he'd rather play with a 10-man squad than have to deal with an apathetic 11-man squad. That then led to the iconic I want winners rant. So he took over as an interim that year for fired coach Mike Nolan. Finished the season on a positive note, was 5-4. Started out pretty well the next year, jumped out to a 3-1 start with some big wins over the reigning NFC champion Cardinals and West rivals Seattle and St. Louis, and he seemingly was on his way. But then things kept getting weird because his temper was hard to manage. Lost his temper after the team's poor play. Said he was sorry afterwards, said how he wished he had more coaching etiquette. Allegedly dropped his pants in front of his team in the locker room to say, this is how you're playing right now, and showed his ass. And it wasn't long before he was out in San Francisco. He didn't last long after that in the NFL. He went to the Minnesota Vikings as a special assistant head coach and linebacker coach for 3 years, was with the Rams for 1 year, then coached Texas Christian, then the Memphis Express, then the TSL Generals in 2020. I don't even know who they are. And that was it for Mike Singletary. Now, Mike Singletary may be a bad coach. He may be a hothead. But I think about him as that's the reaction we all want when guys do dumb shit. But I'm not sure it's possible in today's day and age in today's NFL. The days of Norm Van Brocklin doing the whole, you can't play in the NFL if you're not coachable. Then guess what? Those days are probably gone. Harry High School, drop the ball at the goal line, show off like you're cool.
We want you to play as you're instructed to play. Understand?
Yes, sir.
You line up where you're supposed to line up. None of that Harry High School, fake this, fake do what we're told.
No, drop the ball at the goal line.
You can't play football in the NFL if you're not coachable.
If you're not coachable. Now, that's the gentle Flying Dutchman, Norm Van Brocklin, now passed away. Super Sky point to him. I don't know if the Colts would have made the playoffs. I don't know if they would have been relevant. Who cares? Let's move on. Idiot number 2 of the week, Dan Campbell. I said it after the Packer game in which he took several high-leverage, high-profile risks. This guy's going to cost you. You know it's coming, Lion fans. I said, get your boy a laminated card he can refer to, sort of like a senior tip card for Denny's. He doesn't know when exactly to go for it. Don't mind the aggressiveness in general. It's just that Campbell oftentimes makes no sense. And people were saying after this onside kick against the Bills that it was indefensible. You're down just 10. There's 12 minutes left. You're at home. This is not the time to try what was a 7% chance of success. And, of course, it didn't work out. It blew up in their face spectacularly as it was picked up on a high hop and run back to the 5-yard line. Bills scored on the very next play. Total deflation. They still had a chance late. There was a timeout decision that many people claim was a botch. I think it was, in theory. 2:40 left to go. The Bills drive stalls. They're going to kick a field goal, and the Lions hold their water on all 3 timeouts until after the 2-minute conversion, 2-minute warning, because they wanted to be able to score and then go timeout, 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 force what I call a null set possession by the offense, 15 seconds or less on 3 straight runs and a punt, and then get the ball back one last time and possibly tie the game. That was assuming they couldn't get the onside kick or weren't going to try the onside kick after scoring late when they were down 10. I would have rather said, let's take the timeout now because time is irreplaceable. It's essential. take the timeout now at 2:40, and let's just count on getting the onside kick. If we don't get the onside kick, we're fucked anyway. We're in a tight spot here. Tight spot. Probably not going to win this game. But let's not worry about that decision right now. Let's go back to the onside kick. The problem with the onside kick, in addition to the fact that it's a 7% conversion this year in the NFL and that you have to announce it and you see it coming, and the fact there was so much time and it was only 10, and I mean, there are tons of reasons against it. To me, the bottom line was, okay, so let's say you convert. Let's say you get the ball. Tell him, Gene, what he's won. Well, you have the ball, and you still have 50-plus yards to go to score a touchdown against a team you're down by 10 to. You don't win a whole lot on that decision. To me, when you're thinking about do we go for it or not on fourth down, always ask yourself, if we get it, what good thing do we almost guarantee ourselves of? Is it putting yourself in field goal position? Is it a new set of downs to run out the clock against an opponent that has no timeouts left? Is it near the goal line where a first down would give us either another first and goal inside the 10, or if it's at the goal line, like fourth and goal from the 1 or the 2 or the 3? If you convert, it's a touchdown. That's a great thing. He fails the test, Dan Campbell, of analyzing, okay, even if I do convert this aggressive play, what does it help us get? What do we win? What do we win? Tell us what they've won. And so in this case, the onside kick was completely and totally idiotic. And afterwards, Dan Campbell admitted sort of that he regretted it.
What kind of motivated you to do that early?
I thought we'd get the possession, you know. I thought we were going to get that ball. And it was one of Bates' best kicks that I've seen him have. That was a big kicker at the end. You know, that thing took a good jump on us. And Hollis made a heck of a play on it. And, you know, obviously now sitting here hindsight after them taking it down to the 3-yard line, yeah, I wish I wouldn't have done that. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. Like Ron Burgundy choosing milk on a hot day in San Diego when he was out of work.
I am completely miserable, San Diego. It's so damn hot.
So damn hot.
Milk was a bad choice.
But he's a gambler. He goes for it. So I went back because I'd forgotten, lost to time and fog of memory and aging, exactly the ways, multiple ways Campbell fucked up in the NFC title game. Never mind the fact they raced out to a big lead and choked away a 17-point lead, a 21-3 lead, I think it was. I had to go back and read to refresh my memory. So the problem with Campbell in the title game last year was that he was all over the map. And the New York Times has an article about this in which they cite several online computer models that calculate win probability for going for it or not based on time, down and distance, score, situation, all these factors. And so here was the decisions. There was 4 decisions that fucked the Lions in that game against the Niners. The first one was, interestingly enough, early in the game in the second quarter, 4th and 3, Lions up 21-7. This is 4th and 3 at the 3-yard line. So 4th and goal at the 3. 21-7 leading. He thought about going for a touchdown, instead kicked the field goal. That actually lost the Lions 4.4% of win probability, which is a big chunk. Anything over a percentage point is significant. 4.4 is a lot, according to the nerds. Third quarter, 7:03 left, leading 24-10. They get a 4th and 2 at the plus 28. They go for it, and they miss it. No points. Again, what's the problem? You convert a 4th and 2 at the plus 28, congratulations. You still have 26, 25 yards left to try to go score a touchdown. There is a not insignificant probability that your drive will stall and you'll have to kick a field goal anyway, or that something bad could happen to you, a fumble, an interception, you name it. So that was dumb. Fourth quarter now, trailing by 3, 27-24. Campbell at the 7:32 mark says, Yeah, nah. To a field goal attempt from the plus 30 on 4th and 3, 1 yard longer. Now, I need to get my hands on good, reliable sort of conversion charts, global conversion charts in the NFL of, what does the league do on 4th and 1 percentage? Meaning everybody, all teams, all quarterbacks, all games, all situations. Give me the global number on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 3, on down the line. I want to see that chart if somebody wants to find it for me. I know I'm lazy. Because it drops off quite a bit. This is not unlike on the PGA Tour, they keep stats of, 3-footers made and the percentage. So the difference between 2 feet and 3 feet on the PGA Tour is fairly tight. But as soon as you get to 4 feet and 5 feet, there's a big drop-off. And I believe there's a significant drop-off in 4th down conversions in the NFL, but I don't know that offhand. 4th and 3, though, I mean, that's meaty. And you're trailing by 3. And to me, there's huge psychological value in tying the game. So to me, field goal there is the obvious choice. You make it 27-20. 27-27, make the Niners play a bit tight. Don't give them any confidence, any momentum. Don't deject your team by not converting. And again, if you do convert, tell them what they want. Well, you still have 28 yards to go for a touchdown. Not smart. And then finally in the fourth quarter, late, 1:05 to go, 3rd and goal, frantically trying to engineer a comeback. With no timeouts, they run with 3 timeouts left, they run David Montgomery on 3rd down. He gets stuffed. Then they have to use a timeout. The win probability was only 9% at that juncture in the game. But guess what? It went down 4.7%. So, again, you might say, well, they weren't going to win the game anyway. Not 90% chance they would lose. You still don't want to drain half of your remaining win prob on a bad decision. And running it on 3rd down was idiotic. Maybe they had a play call that Ben Johnson thought was going to work or, was essential. Like, this play always works. Every play call's 50-50, basically, in this league. Other teams have coaches, too. And they got coordinators, and they have film, and they scout, and they stop things. It's all a coin flip. I know nobody wants to hear that. They want to think, I had the perfect play. Matt LaFleur on Sunday night in their win over the Seahawks made several timeout decisions that boggled the mind because of all of LaFleur's talents and gifts. Understanding timeouts is not a strong suit for him. And so he calls a timeout up 10, 4th quarter, plus side of the field on 3rd and 2 with the ball. I'm like, who the fuck does that? Got out of the play they were in because they called a timeout, called a different play, a pass play that did not work because their receiver intended on the play who was seemingly open, Jaden Reed, slipped. And then people on my timeline said, oh, no, the timeout was good. They actually called a play that would have worked. Would have worked. It's just the receiver slipped. I feel like saying to those people, do you hear yourself even speaking right now? It would have worked. But did it? No. Why not? Because shit's 50-50. Guys slip. They drop the ball. Passes are inaccurate. There's penalties on the other side of the field that nobody can see that the referees make up. A lot of shit can happen. Just call the play. It's 3rd and 2. You're up 10. Don't call a timeout. Run the play. It might work. Their guy might slip. Not your guy. But I digress. So, Dan Campbell, woof. It reminds me of the great Mad TV football coaches cliche bit from years ago.
So, it was a close game, and I think the score shows that. Yeah.
Coach, the score was 93-0. That's a record for points allowed. Do you want to comment on that?
Points mean nothing to me, All I care about is putting one in the win column.
A win column.
If we can win without scoring any points, okay, good game, fine, And if not, hey, whatever.
Is there anything you would have done differently?
Not a thing. No. You stick to the game plan, and you don't change it in the middle of the game just because you're down 40 or 50 points.
Yeah, Coach, can you explain why in the second quarter you had Greg Graciano attempt a 98-yard field goal?
Yeah. Simple. I thought he could make it.
Well, has he ever made one before?
Not to my knowledge.
See, that's Campbell saying, I really thought we were going to get the possession.
I've seen him have. That was a big kicker at the end. That thing took a good jump on us, and Hollis made a heck of a play on it. And, obviously now sitting here hindsight after them taking it down to the 3-yard line, I wish I wouldn't have done that. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. Same thing as the fake football coach saying, hey, you know what? If you can win a game without scoring points, great. But hey, whatever.
Win column, If we can win without scoring any points, okay, good game, fine, And if not, hey, whatever.
Is there anything you
If not, hey, whatever. Idiot number 3 of the week in the NFL, Andy Reid. Yeah, I know. He's a great coach. Best coach we have right now. He's not without his flaws. And here's why he's the idiot of the week. They're up 2 touchdowns, having dominated the Browns all game long, and he's throwing the ball on first down, on second down, on third down. In the fourth quarter late, he's got Patrick Mahomes, the magical, biracial unicorn, in the game with 5 and change to go, and he gets hurt. He gets a high ankle sprain. Carson Wentz has to come in relief. More on the backup landscape, the absolute wasteland of quarterbacks that saw action on Sunday. These coaches in the NFL do not understand or subscribe to or can't bring themselves to articulate a very shrewd concept, which would be load management. They do it in the NBA. It's time the NFL came around. And when I say load management, I do not mean preemptively resting guys for entire games. I mean the NFL should think hard about, wait a minute, every play that my important players, my most important guys, quarterback, lead running back, lead wide receiver, every play they play is a risk of injury. Therefore, ergo, once I feel a game is securely in hand, I will take them out of the game, no questions asked. But that's not the tough guy football mentality. No, it's smart is what it is. This whole machismo of, it's football, and sort of the fatalistic thinking of, you could get hurt on any play. I get hurt on any play. You can't worry about that. You should, because now Mahomes could be out for several games when they still haven't fully wrapped up home field advantage and a bye. It's going to be a stretch for the Bills to get there, but you're telling me, and again, Andy Reid's the best we got in the game right now, but he's an idiot for not pulling him from the game earlier. 2 touchdown lead, fourth quarter, you should be going run, punt defense, run, punt defense with Dorian Thompson Robinson in the fucking game. And Mahomes should have been out. Or if you want to keep Mahomes in, if you're just that hell-bent, let him hand off 3 times in a row. That's the game. Squeeze it out. Bleed it out. Don't have to be smart or cute or anything else. Just choke it out. Didn't do it. Now they've got a hurt Mahomes during a key stretch of the season. 3 games in 11 days. The 4 teams that play on Christmas Day, because the NFL and their greed knows no bounds, and they shoehorned this set of games in there just for the Netflix money, is unprecedented because no teams have had to play 3 and 11 this late. Maybe 2 in the span of 11, but not, or 2 in the span of 10. I'm thinking Sunday to Thursday, and then again. 2 and forget the math on this. But this is a new wrinkle because the NFL said, fuck it, we want Christmas Day. But, sir, it's a Wednesday. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll give them 10 days off on the back end. Well, it might be too much by then. Or it might not help at that point on the back end of this. That said, I would sit Mahomes for the next 2. I would just say we're going to take our chances with Carson Wentz, try to win a game here to try to keep it going. You need Mahomes healthy. Now, Reid said he could have gone back in the game, but it wasn't worth it. Oh, the irony. So he was in the game to begin with, even though it wasn't needed. Then he got hurt, and you didn't put him back in because you said it wasn't worth it. Do you see the sheer illogic of that? Finally, my fourth idiot of the week, whoever the side judge was in the Saints-Commanders game that waved for a clock stoppage when the Saints drove the ball down to the 2-yard line in the waning tick seconds of their almost come-from-behind win against Washington. 4 seconds froze as the game should have come perilously close to bleeding out on the clock as they had no timeouts left. It still looks like they probably would have gotten the play off, but it's tough to tell because closer to the gun, they might have panicked. Who knows? All we know is that 4 seconds froze. They were given 4 extra seconds because either of a hometown clock operator or a side judge who's too stupid to be working in the NFL almost affected the outcome of the game. And where was your false god now, replay fanatics? Where was your false god to fix things? Oh, that's right, replay couldn't fix it. No, it would be too hard to fix because when the clock is running, you can't then say, okay, we're going to put everyone back in place and now start the clock and now run to try to get lined up for a final play to go for it. So why have replay? I want that referee suspended for the rest of the year. I don't know who it is. I don't think it's too harsh. That guy jeopardizes the whole operation. Ace Rothstein in Casino. Either he's too stupid to be working on an NFL crew to make that mistake, or he was in on it. And I know people were saying the Commanders favored by 7.5, or people teased it, or they bought the half point off with lesser odds, got fucked. And the NFL should be investigated for this because that's what they wanted. The referee did what the league wanted. Well, I don't think the league is invested in helping the Saints win a game. The Saints are a ghost team, a zombie team at this point of the year with the Rizzler as their head coach, the clogger, Darren Rizzi. So I don't buy that action. And in theory, there should have been 50% of the people on the other side of it taking the Saints plus. That's not always the case, by the way. But the NFL, they're agnostic to who wins or loses money gambling. They just want to take endorsements from the big boys, whose names I won't mention because we are a proud MyBookie shop. Go to MyBookie.com, use promo code ZABE, Charlie, Zulu, Alpha, Bravo, Echo, to get the latest promotions and specials. But no, I don't think the NFL gave a shit. I don't think anyone had a command. I think the guy was just, he fucked up. The referee fucked up, and the false god of replay couldn't fix it. Luckily for the Commanders, who are now 9-5 for the first time since, I think, 93. Wow. And headed for a wild card. The wild card prob is up there, high, for the Commanders. Something like 90%, I think. Heady days, and they escaped after a very ugly win. Did I mention ugly? Let's talk about the quarterback wasteland that was out there on Sunday. But first, a quick and otherwise delightful commercial message from our sponsors. You are listening to the CzabeCast. They say to fully enjoy life, you should collect experiences, not things. Physical things you buy become outdated. They lose their appeal. But an experience lasts forever and grows over the years. That's why I want you to know about the Mervis Diamonds South Africa Safari coming this March 2025. Enjoy a 5-star luxury adventure with native South African and longtime fixture on the DC Diamond scene, Ronnie Mervis himself, leading the group. I've been on the trip twice, and it is spectacular. You'll fly to Cape Town, see the legendary Table Mountain, visit wine country and the spectacular coast. Then it's off to the Kapama Game Reserve to see the Big Five in their natural habitat: lion, elephant, Cape buffalo, leopard, and rhino. Finally, a tour of the Cullinan Diamond Mine in Johannesburg to see where the sparkly magic comes from. All told, 11 luxury days on the ground, all-inclusive, for just $6,300 a person. This is it, people. The banger safari trip of a lifetime. I've been twice with Ronnie. You will not be disappointed. I guarantee it. Book now. Space is limited, and it's filling up quick. For more information, go to mervisdiamond.com/safari or call travel consultant John Almeida at 888-722-4872 and tell him I sent you. Remember, life is short. Collect memories, not things. As the leaves turn and the air gets crisp, it is time for some serious action. Bet on Lord football, from heart-pounding college rivalries to the bone-crushing NFL matchups. But that's not all. The ice is getting cold and the courts are heating up. Get in on the NHL face-off and NBA tip-offs as both leagues kick off their seasons. And if you want to get really nuts, bet on the election. Won't that be fun? If you've been waiting for the right time to get in, the time is now. Make your winning move today. Sign up at mybookie.ag. Use promo code ZABE, Charlie, Zulu, Alpha, Bravo, Echo, to be eligible for all promotions. Once again, promo code ZABE to get in on the sweet action. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Hiring with Indeed, your search is over. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Indeed's matching engine leverages over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, constantly learning from your preferences. The more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ZABE. Just go to Indeed.com/ZABE right now and support our show, saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/ZABE. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. It's getting ugly out there in the NFL for 3 weeks left to go, and a lot of quarterbacks already on the trash heap, banged up, injured, proven ineffective. Sunday was a real doozy, though. Tennessee saw Will Levis disintegrate and lead to Mason Rudolph in their loss to the Bengals. Tommy DeVito got his bell rung and was seeing ziti in his eyes, and then gave way to Tim Boyle. We'll talk about the curious case of Tim Boyle in just a second. Jameis Winston, the crab leg kid, threw 3 picks. So his pleas to the Almighty of, Lord, please save me from these interceptions, has gone unheeded by God. Gave way to Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I think it's Dorian. Let me look it up. They just call him DTR. Who is DTR Browns? Thank you. Dorian. Thank you. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, former UCLA product. He's not good. Jameis is not good. Can we now say that the brief Jameis fling we had during the season is over? I think it's over. Jake Haener in New Orleans gave way to Spencer Rattler. Jake Haener was god-awful. 4 of 10, 49 yards passing, and an interception. They replaced him with Spencer Rattler, the Rat. He wasn't much better, but had a couple of big chunk throws and a touchdown, 10 for 21 for the Rat. Spencer Rattler came in earlier this year when Derek Carr was injured, and he was so bad they lost every game, and they're like, oh my God, Spencer Rattler sucks ass. Of course, the Saints are already regretting the purchase of Derek Carr, who's okay. Like, he's a QB1, but he's like a Temu purchased QB1. In Seattle, Geno Smith, my friend Geno Smith, got hurt against the Packers. That led to Sam Howell. Now, Sam Howell had flashes for the Commanders the last 2 years and lit it up in Seattle last season. Seattle liked what they saw. They pulled off a trade to get him for, I think, a mid to low draft pick of sorts. He came in the game and was so bad. I believe he had, let me find the stat here. It's hard to even believe what the number is on him, but basically Oh, yeah, here you go. 19 dropbacks and only 5 complete passes. Sam Howell did something that's only happened 20 times in the NFL league-wide, 32 teams, 16 or 17 games per season. It's only happened 20 times in the last 25 seasons. And it includes the likes of Sam Darnold, Malik Willis, Cam Newton when he was washed in 2021, Nathan Peterman, Chad Henne, Curtis Painter, Bruce Gradkowski, Andrew Walter, Mike McMahon, Randy Fasani, Anthony Wright, Spurgeon Wynn. Oh, God. Just a who's who of dog shit quarterbacks. And part of it was just that the Seahawks O-line was under siege. The Packers were coming. Great game for the Packers defensive front to get after the quarterback. But, yeah, Geno Smith gave way to Sam Howell. Dallas already had Cooper Rush as their starter. They won. Jacksonville already had Mac Jones as their starter. He lost. He threw 2 touchdowns. Hey, how about that? But he also threw 2 picks. That's a wasteland of quarterbacks right there. And, oh, by the way, Brock Purdy has let it be known through his agent and others that he wants top-of-the-market money when it comes to his next contract. I sure hope, if you're a Niner fan, that your team and that John Lynch says, if I could make it as succinct as possible, I would hope John Lynch and the Niners say, you want what now? Top of the quarterback market money? Bitch, please. But good luck to Purdy for that. Maybe Purdy knows that he sees all this other carnage out there and the landscape being bleak for so many teams and so many quarterbacks who just can't play this game that's too fast, too violent, too complicated to be a passable QB1 in a league about quarterbacks, a TV show about quarterbacks where, oh, you want to run and play defense to win? That's cute. That's cute. 1976 called, and they said that's not happening anymore. But Tim Boyle. So Tim Boyle comes in for Tommy DeVito with the Giants. Somebody pointed out on Twitter, can somebody explain the Tim Boyle phenomenon? And you might say, well, he's a backup in the NFL. He's been around. He's 6'3". He's not terrible. He's a big, strong fella. He's got a good command of the playbook. Yeah. Boyle came in relief of DeVito, went 12 of 24 against the Ravens, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Pretty much suck minus. But that's what you expect, right? Boyle came into the league at 25 years old. He's been on 6 teams in 6 years. He has had 5 starts as a pro. He is 0-5 in those. And he's completed 60% of his passes for 5 touchdowns over 13 INTs. Woof. What? That leads to a question of, well, 5 over 13 is terrible. But he must have been great in college. Where'd Tim Boyle go to college? He must have lit it up in college. Probably just a guy who was good in college, just couldn't play in the NFL. No. He sucked in college. In college, Tim Boyle played 3 years and recorded 1 touchdown over 13 interceptions. Good God. For a completion percentage as well in his 3 years in college of 48%. Oh, did I mention he played at Connecticut? Connecticut. That football power, Connecticut. Why is Tim Boyle still in the league? Why has he lasted? Why has he been passed around to so many teams? He's made $8.2 million in his career. That's not terrible for a guy who can't do it at the pro level. Why? There have been hundreds and thousands of quarterbacks in college at much more high-profile schools that have much more physical talent than Tim Boyle. You're telling me he's the best option as a backup? Maybe he's just really telegenic in backup quarterback interviews. He wows the GMs. He gets them going, wow, this guy's good. Listen to Boyle. We got to have this guy, TB. The new TB method. Sign him up. And he looks good on the sideline wearing a ball cap, holding a clipboard. It's just like the old saying, he's a great backup as long as you don't play him. Let's talk Travis Hunter and his girlfriend. It's been quite the whirlwind. First of all, I found out Andy sent me a link to a story. Travis Hunter's father was not there because he had recently been released from a correctional facility where unfortunately Travis's father has run afoul of our legal system. And he could have gone to the ceremony because he was let out 3 weeks early. He missed many of the games on TV for Colorado, although he did catch some of them while he was incarcerated this year. His father played college football himself at a pretty decent level. So there's athletic pedigree there. And he's young, too. His dad is 39 years old. He chose not to be there, his father, even though he could have been there. I think, and this is just me spitballing, I think because he respects and loves his son so much that he didn't want to be the story. He wanted to be more out of sight. He wanted to be like, look, this is about my son who's worked his ass off to get to this point. And he's also a great student, Travis Hunter, 4.0 GPA. Smart, everything else. I think most of America is kind of rooting for Travis Hunter. That brings us to his girl. Oh boy. She's had quite a 24 hours. In addition to the whole dust up with the standing and the sitting, which I can't remember if I talked about this with Andy or not, Dion had to prompt her to stand up after he was named, and she was the first one to sit down afterwards. That seems very odd. You should be so proud of your man that you spring to your feet in barely containable jubilation, and you stand there long after almost everybody else has sat down. This is my man. Love him. I'm so proud of him. Last to stand up, Dion had to prompt her. First to sit down. Not a good look. Even worse was the look she showed as he was at a Adidas event because he signed a big endorsement deal with them and was taking photographs and giving autographs, which is what these athletes do. People want a picture. Hey, look at me, Travis Hunter. She was caught off camera, his girlfriend, his fiance, not girlfriend, fiance, saying, so what am I supposed to do? Sit here all day? Yeah, that's actually the job. And for that, you are going to live a fabulous, charmed life. I know. It's like us men when we accompany our wives or girlfriends to a high-end fashion store or some place in the mall we don't want to be. We go seek out, where is there a couch? Is there a couch somewhere? I think somebody did a big skit, it might have been SNL, of a secret room where the guys would retreat while shopping with their wives. That was this incredible, magical place if you could just find it, buried deep inside the department store. Hey, all right, fellas, what are we doing here? Yes. In fact, so much of life is literally just, what am I supposed to do? Sit here all day? Yeah. Whether it's for your job or, sadly, for loved ones if they're in the hospital. Or your parents as they age. Though there's a lot of sitting around. Of course, sitting around has never been easier because of our phones. Many of us will now look forward to hey, I get to go sit around and do nothing. I'll sit on my phone and I'll watch some funny cat videos on TikTok or Instagram. Just kind of scroll the day away. It's not healthy for our brains, I get that, but still, sitting around has never been easier. So that was not good. Then, as the internet rose up to go, Travis, what are you doing? Somebody said the whole internet basically telling Travis Hunter, the Heisman Trophy winner, to dump his fiance is certainly wild. I agree, it's a wild thing. Of course, now Travis Hunter is defending his woman, as you would hope and expect, and good for him. But he said, hey, man, you need to chill out, internet. He didn't say that way, but I'm just paraphrasing. You're asking a bunch of people who don't know you and you don't know them and they don't matter to not say things about you as a public figure or your fiance. That's a losing battle right there. Just give it up. He said, essentially, to paraphrase, hey, you got to chill out. She's been so upset by all this. She spent all day crying and drinking. Warning, warning, warning. That only added fuel to the fire. Listen, she may not be built for this life. There will be public critics. You're just going to have to roll with it. There will be people cutting TikToks, talking about you, trying to get clout and retweets, and podcast hosts like me to play your content, such as comedian Godfrey, who I don't even know. He was out before all this drama this week saying, I don't know if this is the girl for you.
Listen, Travis, I just want you to be careful, man. I said it. Be careful. Congratulations on your engagement, but, man, you might have to disengage because it's something about this woman, man. The way she was talking to, and she was talking like she was really that chick. Listen, you love who you love. Facts, okay? I got that. That's all logical, but something ain't right. I just watched that dumb video of you guys in those matching pajamas that bugged me, and she was like dogging you, going, yeah, he wasn't my type. I was like, he wasn't my type.
It wasn't my type.
And then we went to this party, and then we fell in love. I think, personally, I don't know when you all dated, with high school, I don't give a fuck. But when she found out your stats, bro, that's when I think she's like, oh, I love him. I don't know what she is. She's like Indian looking, Latino looking with a sprinkle of Ebonics. I don't fucking know what she is. But one thing I do know, you need to watch your ass, bro. I'm so serious, man. I just something ain't right.
So anyway, it's easy to go, well, fuck this guy, Godfrey, whoever he is. Who is he to comment on his relationship? And you're right, he has no standing to do that. But this is the world we live in. And you're a public figure, and you're doing podcasts where you're sitting down in matching pajamas, and she's talking about when they first met and how she says, well, he wasn't really my type. Now, there are stories like that where initially the man or the woman's like, nah, it's not happening. I rejected her or rejected him, but then I came around and figured out, you know what? She is or he is right for me. It does happen. But when you talk about athletes and money and young people who are confused by today's social media world, oh, it's dangerous. And I think we're all pulling for Travis Hunter not to get taken for a ride by a thirst trap. And that's all we want. We want the best for that young man and her, if it is true love, if soulmates have met each other on this big globe of ours. Final topic. These drones are driving me crazy. Certainly bizarre situation. Had the spidey sense and the hair on the back of my neck tingling just a bit when I went down rabbit holes, reading people's plausible scenarios, this, that, and the other. As I turned it over in my head, okay, what is this? Why is all these conflicting statements? It boils down to this to me. Either there are drones, they're drones, or alien drones. So let's go about sizing up the possibilities of all three. Let's start with the alien drones. I'm pretty confident saying they're not alien drones. They're too visible. They've got what look like FAA visibility lights. They're flying too slow. They're flying too low. They've done nothing. They haven't landed anywhere. They haven't abducted anybody. They haven't blown anything up. There may well be alien probes or other life form probes that have been sent out into the universe that have traveled the vastness of time and space to get here, which is it's a time problem if you really read up about, okay, what would it take? Knowing what we know about the universe for other life to somehow reach us physically. But I'm not discounting there could be alien probes. The Tic Tacs that were caught on the FLIR off the coast of San Diego, other phenomenon. But I don't think these drones are alien drones. I'm ruling that out. Second possibility, could they be adversary drones? Well, the phrase that pays with the government officials that are so good at lying to the public, which they will say, well, it's for your good. We don't want people to panic. Or they just like to lie, or they're up to no good. The notion of it being an adversary, they couch it in these terms. At this time, we have no firm intelligence that ... These are the aircraft of our adversaries. That's a mealy-mouthed way of kind of leaving the door open. Of course, they don't know because they haven't decided to take one out of the air, which is one of the major sort of dogs that is not barking in this story. Haven't shot one down yet. They're visible by commercial aircraft flying in near proximity to passengers with their phones, pointing them out the window of the airplane. That's bullshit. I mean, that poses, if they were truly an adversary, that would pose a huge risk to commercial aviation and a potential economic catastrophe if we have to shut down the airspace of this country. So yeah, they're not an adversary's drones. The Iranian mothership off the coast. Okay. Iran, I don't think, has that kind of technology or money. And while Iran may be pissed about the way things are going with their proxies in the Middle East and Syria and whatnot, they may be fanatics and they may be crazy, but they're not stupid, as the saying goes. They know if they were to truly provoke the U.S. with hostile, large-scale UAVs over American cities, it's an extinction-level event for the mullahs. And like I said, they're crazy. They're not stupid. They understand the long game, or at least the medium game, to go, all right, shit ain't going well right now since October 7th, so we're going to ride this out. Trump's in office. That's not good for us, but we want to plan to be here for the next 50 years, not just 4 years. So it's too much risk for an adversary like Iran. And I don't think they have the technology. I'm sure they've got some shit. I don't know how good their shit is to be able to pull this off. But there's too much risk. That's number one. Number two, China. It's not China. China already has drones flying over the U.S. They're called the DJI Mavic 4. I own one. Actually, no, I own the Mavic Mini. They're already collecting data and imagery and then siphoning it back through a back door through the software of their drones. They don't need to surveil us. Hell, the Chinese have spies sleeping with our elected representatives. They don't need to fly drones to like spy on us. They've got enough intel. And it needs to be noted, we're their biggest client. They don't want to fuck us as their client. We buy so much stuff from them, no chance. So that rules out, I think, it's not adversarial. And if we knew it was our adversaries, which I would hope our intelligence communities would know pretty easily, and our military would know pretty easily, then we would have shot them down and we would have said, okay, we're going to fucking war. You better stretch because we are going to fuck you up. So I'm ruling that out. So they're our drones. What are our drones doing? The popular theory is they're sniffing for a dirty bomb or a nuke that's on the loose. Okay. So you're only doing it at night, huh? During the day, you're not sniffing for it? You do know that there are nuclear sniffers all up and down the East Coast and every single port that detects radiation levels that are rising. There's publicly published websites about radiation levels. We're well aware of this threat. We've been aware of it now for 20 plus years, since 9/11, if not earlier. The legend of suitcase nukes getting out of the Cold War and Europe on the communist side have been around forever. I've read about them. I've gotten freaked out. And then I read some more, and it's like, well, even a, quote, suitcase nuke is kind of hard to pull off for a lot of different reasons. And even legacy warheads, like one theory of, well, there's a Ukrainian warhead that's gotten loose, one of 80 that got loose. We don't know where they are. It's being shipped to the U.S. All right? All the things to make a nuke go kaboom require maintenance and upkeep and expertise and a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm a bit dubious on that. So what are these things doing, and why is the government lying through their teeth? Good question. I have theories. I need another news cycle or two to get fully formulated on what exactly they're doing. President Trump, soon to be President Trump, held a press conference, which the current president doesn't do, and was asked this very question.
Good to see you.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey, the ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, they happen to be over Bedminster.
Will you shoot them down?
They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Have you been?
Do you have any reason to think they're?
Yeah, you don't want to comment on that because that could get him in trouble. The other guy who's not saying anything about the drones is Elon Musk, and he's got opinions on everything, as you might know if you follow him on Twitter. Whether it's population collapse due to declining birth rates in the West, electric cars, rockets, even pop culture, Elon Musk has been very, very quiet. So they know. A little bit unnerved still. I don't like it. I don't like it because I don't want the public being panicked. The public, when panicked, is a herd of angry, stupid sheep that can drive otherwise a wonderful society off a cliff for a few years, as we saw with COVID. I would prefer not to have a repeat of that. Hey, look at this. The time has flown almost an hour. Just me giving you my thoughts on the NFL, quarterbacks, stupid coaches, some sound bites mixed in, some pop culture references to movies like Anchorman, current events, conspiracy. What a thrill ride today's podcast was. Thank you for listening. If you like this product, do recommend to a friend. Rate and review. It really helps tickle my approval algorithm on all the usual platforms. And if you would like this podcast delivered early each night and commercial-free, go to czabe.com/premium and subscribe. It helps support the podcast. A mere $5 a month. I've never raised the price. And you can get 12 months for the price of 11. Makes a perfect Christmas gift. If not, and you also get Fridays with Meat, Scott, and Side. And if you prefer, just keep freeloading and enduring the agony of a few commercials for free for 4 days a week. Either way, no problem. Thanks for listening. Have a great Tuesday, and we will see you next time.
Send lawyers, guns, and money.
They say to fully enjoy life, you should collect experiences, not things. Physical things you buy become outdated. They lose their appeal. But an experience lasts forever and grows over the years. That's why I want you to know about the Mervis Diamonds South Africa Safari coming this March 2025. Enjoy a 5-star luxury adventure with native South African and longtime fixture on the DC diamond scene, Ronnie Mervis himself, leading the group. I've been on the trip twice, and it is spectacular. You'll fly to Cape Town, see the legendary Table Mountain, visit wine country and the spectacular coast. Then it's off to the Kapama Game Reserve to see the Big Five in their natural habitat: lion, elephant, Cape buffalo, leopard, and rhino. Finally, a tour of the Cullinan Diamond Mine in Johannesburg to see where the sparkly magic comes from. All told, 11 luxury days on the ground, all-inclusive, for just $6,300 a person. This is it, people. The banger safari trip of a lifetime. I've been twice with Ronnie. You will not be disappointed. I guarantee it. Book now. Space is limited, and it's filling up quick. For more information, go to mervisdiamond.com/safari or call travel consultant John Almeida at 888-722-4872 and tell him I sent you. Remember, life is short. Collect memories, not things. As the leaves turn and the air gets crisp, it is time for some serious action. Bet on Lord football, from heart-pounding college rivalries to the bone-crushing NFL matchups. But that's not all. The ice is getting cold and the courts are heating up. Get in on the NHL face-off and NBA tip-offs as both leagues kick off their seasons. And if you want to get really nuts, bet on the election. Won't that be fun? If you've been waiting for the right time to get in, the time is now. Make your winning move today. Sign up at mybookie.ag. Use promo code ZABE, Charlie, Zulu, Alpha, Bravo, Echo, to be eligible for all promotions. Once again, promo code ZABE to get in on the sweet action. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.